designed for Pontiacs, in a building surrounded by Pontiacs, in a town called Pontiac. Perfect! Hey everybody, it's the Oddtrotter here, trotting my way through Illinois. Today we are in Pontiac, Illinois, at the Pontiac-Oakland Automobile Museum. Now, some of you remember Pontiac. They made the Bonneville, the Trans Am, the GTO, the Firebird. They were a victim of the Great Recession and GM's bankruptcy that followed. And you're probably wondering why a town called Pontiac in Illinois that has nothing to do with where the cars were made has a gigantic Pontiac museum. Well, back in 2010, a Pontiac enthusiast named Tim Dye was coming down 55 from a Pontiac collector's show in Chicago, and he found this town called Pontiac, and he was curious about how the town could be connected to the cars he so loved. Well, of course, they're actually both named for the same person, Chief Pontiac of the Ottawa Nation, who led a rebellion against British settlers before the Revolution, and he decided that he would use this town as a place to show off his collection. And within a year, and the city just fell in love with the idea, and within a year of his visit, this lovely museum was set up for both Pontiac and Oakland cars. So let's take a look at it. Well, Pontiac didn't always have cars. This is an original Pontiac horse and buggy from the 1890s. This is from Tim Dye's collection. Tim Dye was, of course, the founder of the museum. Over here we have an old 67 Bonneville, an old Dynavision to take a look at the engine. It looks like a little garage. And around here you can see, along these walls, over 2,000 oil cans. One of the largest collections of oil cans in the world. From all throughout the 50s, 60s, throughout much of the 20th century. Even some statues of Pontiac himself and some somewhat stereotypical action. You wouldn't see this nowadays. But the head of Pontiac, of Chief Pontiac, was the original symbol for the company. Here's a lovely old-fashioned gas pump. I would have one of those taller ones myself, personally. This is a '94 Pontiac Grand Prix with special airbrush art. Tang Dong Bay. He actually is a specialist at airbrushing art. He actually has a studio here in Pontiac. He made this when the museum opened. He had the airbrush stuff here for when the museum opened in 2011. And over here is a Pontiac Parisienne Safari wagon. It's not called the Parisienne here in the States. I forgot what it was here. But you'd often see Canadian models with different names than their American ones that would be more in tune with Canada. You see a lot of camping stuff here because this was a camping vehicle, as you can see. This is something that you pulled down the doors and you could sleep in at night when you went camping. Yeah, some car companies still do this today. In Canada, for example, the Buick LaCrosse is actually called the Buick Allure. There's some old road atlases and road maps and signs and the like from some nice decals from old gas stations. Many of them which are still around today. Ward Burton's cat car. It was a Pontiac. He drove it in NASCAR. It's his number 22. It's car 22, one of his. Pontiac has a long history with races, of course. For example, here is the official pace car for both the 1980 Daytona and the Indy 500. It's a 1980 Trans Am. Here's an engine for a 301 turbo. It was the first turbocharged V8 engine ever created. 301. And here's the golf cart to go with it. And here's the Judge. Let's go. A lovely Trans Am. And over here, another pace car. This is from the 1984 Indy 500. It's a Pontiac 84 Pontiac Fiero. Now, something that's special about the Pontiac Fiero, and a lot of you know this already, I'm sure, is that it was the first car to have a body made entirely out of plastic. This 88 Fiero Coupe has won quite a few races. Here's the suit they wore. There's also the actual Fiero frame. 60% of the Fiero frames are actually done by hand. Here's some Fiero memorabilia. Order forms for sportswear. A lot of models of Fieros. Fieros. Lovely jacket here. Okay, now you've seen the buggies. When this company was founded in 1893, and when their founder, Edward Murphy, decided to build horseless carriages, he founded the Oakland Motor Company in 1907. It only lasted about a quarter of a century, but they made incredible cars at the time. For example, they made this 1912 Oakland Model 30. The Oakland Company went on up into the early 1930s, when there was no longer any need, when nobody was buying horse and buggies anymore, and Oakland decided to merge their work with their older company, Pontiac. And so this 31 Oakland Sport Coupe would be the last model year. From 1932 on, they would all be Pontiacs. And here is perhaps Pontiac's most famous car, the 65 GTO. This isn't from the Dyes collection. This is actually from Marvin and Ken Minrich, in incredible condition. By now, John DeLorean had become head of Pontiac, and the GTO was his creation. It's 64. This is a 65, as you can see. And they kept building the GTO all the way up to Pontiac's death in 2009. Now, as you can see here, there's some stuff related to the man himself, Chief Pontiac, and some stuff from the community of Pontiac and its important spot on Route 66. Here are some actual parts from a Pontiac dealership. The test sets, air filters, some signs, repair kits, another engine tester. This is what Pontiac mechanics would actually wear way back in the 1930s to the 1950s. Here's an old-fashioned Standard Oil model. There's actually a lot of the real things still all up and down Route 66. I think there's one not too far from here up in Odell, for example. And that's the Pontiac-Oakland Automobile Museum. Now, this is just a small sample of their collection. It actually changes out a few times every year. Admission's free, but they do accept donations. The museum is open every day from 9 to 5 during the Summer months, April to October. November to March, it's every day 10 to 4. That's all for now. If you'd like to see more, well, you can subscribe to the Oddtrotter, and you can see a lot more videos of great places like this. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and read my odd blog at Facebook. And until next time, I've got to be trotting along.